first from Andy Pettitte. Strike one. Last night with a game on the line, 2 on, 2 out, down by a run. Rodriguez pops it up. Castillo drops it. Teixeira scored all the way from first base, and the Yankees won the ball game by a final of 9-8.
Joe, they talk about experience being the best teacher. Not in that case last night. No matter how long you've been playing this game, nothing can prepare you for what happened to Castillo last night and having to come back in about 14 hours later.
And there are so many good things to say about Luis Castillo on the heels of that. First of all, he didn't make any excuses. He was staggering underneath that pop-up from the beginning. And that one's down in the dirt. Should the ball have been caught? Obviously. Absolutely, ball should have been caught. Put it in his pocket. Game is over. But he didn't make any excuses. Didn't talk about the win. Didn't say I didn't see it. Said he had a tough time sleeping. Faced the media last night and again today. Out in front of the plate, Posada has to hurry, and he gets Castillo to start the day. You can see him stagger from the beginning, and obviously so much has been written about the jet stream that goes out to right here at the new Yankee Stadium. No doubt the ball should have been caught, but when he was asked by Jay Horowitz, the Mets PR director, if he wanted to face the media today, he said yes. And he, for about 10 minutes, had a group around him and talked about how he couldn't sleep last night. He was excited to get to the park today and see his name in the lineup.
You also mentioned something that should not be a given. A lot of players are criticized, rightly criticized, for not running balls out on a major league level now. Teixeira certainly should be given credit for the way he turned it on from first base.
Certainly didn't take it for granted that the game was over. Put his head down, kept on running, picked up his third base coach, Rob Thompson, who was waving him around by the time the ball had been dropped, and he scored all the way from first base. Castillo, by the way, compounded the problem by throwing into second base after he dropped the pop-up, which allowed Teixeira to get all the way around with really no play at the plate. Beltran on deck, and here's a 1-1. Ball 2. Give you the numbers for Andy Pettitte. The left-hander is 6-2. His ERA is over 4, and he's been racking up a few more strikeouts the last 2 starts. That's a little jam shot into right center field. It will get down. Played by Cabrera, well to hold Alex Cora to 1-out single. Give you a look at the starting lineup for the Mets. It's brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. You know, Castillo, he led off and tapped out in front of the plate. Base hit by Cora. Now it's Carlos Beltran. David Wright leading the big leagues in hitting. Gary Sheffield, the DH. Then it's Tatis at first. Ryan Church in right. Omer Santos is the catcher. The 20-year-old rookie, Fernando Martinez, is in left field batting 9th. Here is Beltran, who is 4th in the National League, hitting .343. A couple of things, though, with regard to Castillo first. I mean, you look at the way clubhouses are designed these days in these new stadiums, and they're designed almost in a way where players, if they want to, can dodge the media
easily
and not have to face any questioning.
Right.
Before or after a ball game. Different entrances. They have the players' lounge. They have a huge clubhouse. They can kind of sneak in, sneak out, and talk to writers or broadcast journalists if they want to, or they can avoid them if they want to. Castillo did not. Here comes a 2-0 pitch, and that's foul. The other point about Teixeira is that there are a handful of guys that you expect to put their head down and run hard. Teixeira is on that list, despite the 8-year, $180 million contract. I think the one misnomer is, you know, you played mainly in the 60s and 70s, and I think most people today say, well, that's the way everybody used to do it. They put their head down and run. And
which for the most part they did.
Especially out of the box, much more so then than now.
Right. Styling was not the MO of those days.
Pitch is low, and the count goes to 3 balls and a strike on Beltran. David Wright on deck. The next from Pettitte, right down the middle, full count.
Have to be careful, and Alex Cora certainly knows that at first base. Andy Pettitte with 95 pickoffs in his career. That's the most among active pitchers. You have to make sure he goes home.
And Cora was aware of that great pickoff move. He was moving back to the bag before Pettitte looked like he even thought about throwing over to first base. He's got 95 career pickoffs, the most among active pitchers. And Cora, who's been around the block, the 33-year-old, played with Boston. He's seen plenty of Andy Pettitte. And that one's off the plate. Tough play for Pettitte. Off balance throw for the out, 2 away. And a good play by the 6'5" left-hander who will turn 37 on Monday.
And Beltran, because the pitch was outside, got out of the box in a hurry. And Beltran is thrown out by Pettitte. Very, very good play. And not a play you're used to seeing by Andy Pettitte.
Actually hit in front of the plate, wasn't off the plate, and Beltran is out number 2. 2 outs have been around the plate area, and now David Wright thought he had the game-winning RBI until that ball was dropped in shallow right last night. He leads the big leagues hitting .364, has Cora at second and 2 out. That's a foul ball, and here is the sprint pitcher profile for Andy Pettitte.
David Wright fouling one off his foot, and that was the cutter, and that's what Andy Pettitte has to have. He's got to have that cutter if he is to win today. And no running game, as we said, unless you're at second base with less than 2 out, you don't run against Andy Pettitte. Excellent move to first.
And a win total of 184 victories in a Yankee uniform, number 4 on the all-time Yankee list. Behind Whitey Ford, Red Ruffing, and Lefty Gomez. On the inside corner, strike 2.
That's the cutter coming in under the hands of David Wright. You can see it zip right in that area. Good pitch from Pettitte.
At the back foot. And ball 1. David Wright hit a home run on Tuesday against the Phillies to snap a string of 100 at-bats without a home run. How about that? No Met has ever led the league in hitting, which is what Wright is doing right now. That's high and a 2-2 count. So the home runs aren't there. It's been well documented that the ball does not travel, and when it does, the spacious dimensions of Citi Field is taking home runs away. The Mets' new home park. The average is there, and the production pretty good. The stolen bases are there for David Wright. That's to third and foul.
2 ballparks in their first year totally opposite. Only 48 home runs hit in Citi Field, where the Mets play. 110 home runs, on the other hand, hit here at Yankee Stadium.
110, the most hit in the big leagues in any park. And they are on pace right around the all-time record for home runs hit in a stadium in a season of 303. 99 at Coors Field, and that's ball 3. Two. Take a look at the comparison, the 110 here at Yankee Stadium, and then just the 48 at Citi Field, which is 6th fewest in the big leagues.
You saw David Wright foul that ball off, and there's the old ballpark about 150 yards from here. David Wright, very adept at going to right field with 2 strikes.
That is well hit into left and right at Johnny Damon. Mets strand 1, a half inning in the books at Yankee Stadium. No score. Yankees coming up. Hitting third, A-Rod cleans up. Robinson Cano at second. Jorge Posada having a very good comeback here. Hideki Matsui, Melky Cabrera, and Brett Gardner pitching and batting ninth. Mets have seen enough of Derek Jeter over the years, a career .378 hitter against New York Mets pitching, and that's ball 1 inside from Fernando Nieve, who was making his 12th career start in his pitching in only his 13th big league game since 2006. And that's off the hands into left and easy for the rookie Martinez. 1 out. Take a look at the statistics for Nieve, and these are his career numbers, a record of 3 and 4.
Waived by the Houston Astros in spring training, picked up by the Mets about the middle of the spring. Was 3-0 in Buffalo, the AAA affiliate of the Mets, prior to his start today.
Here's Johnny Damon. Being told that during the lineups, I said Gardner is pitching and batting ninth. I had my National League hat on. Gardner is not pitching. A weak swing, and fooled on the pitch was Johnny Damon in the count 0-2. Teixeira waits to hit next, and then Alex Rodriguez. If somebody gets on here in the first inning for the Yankees. Ball 1. You can see that odd swing of Johnny Damon on that second pitch, and talking to Jerry Manuel, the Mets manager, he said Nieve has enough stuff to blow it by a hitter, and his fastball's good enough where a hitter can't wait around for a certain pitch and catch up to the fastball.
Here's that swing of Johnny Damon on that 0-1 count, but Johnny Damon takes a lot of swings like that, particularly with 2 strikes like that. Kind of a poking at the ball. He gets a lot of hits that way. Watch how he just flails almost one-handedly at that fastball outside.
2-2 the count. And slapping at it, fouling it is Damon. The Mets start the day 31-28. 4 games out behind the Phillies, who lost last night in extra innings to the Red Sox. Well, the Yankees are 2 out behind Boston at 35-26. 2-2. On the outside corner, 94-mile-an-hour fastball, 2 gone.
I'm very impressed with the way Nieve is working thus far, working very quickly. We talked about being waived this spring, and his stuff, no clue. Now, I'm only kidding. I did talk to Dan Warden, the pitching coach, and he said, you know, if he, similar to what Jerry Manuel told you, Joe, if he keeps coming at the Yankees, he'll be successful, and they're hopeful of 6 innings out of him.
Drives Teixeira off the plate. Ball 1. That was the sprint pitcher profile for Nieve. He's got a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. He's able to put over the outside corner to more hitters. Mets fans are going to be saying, where have you been hiding this guy?
Yeah.
There is John Maine, who just went on the disabled list with what the Mets and he are calling shoulder fatigue. He was supposed to pitch last night originally, with Livan Hernandez pitching today. Put Maine on the DL. Hernandez pitched a normal rest last night, was not all that effective, and that's why Nieve gets the start here this afternoon. 3-0 is the count. Now it's 3-1. Meanwhile, there's one of the big names not available to Jerry Manuel. One of the 8 on the disabled list for the Mets, Jose Reyes. Castillo makes the play. Perfect first inning for Nieves, and we go to the second at Yankee Stadium. Interleague play. No score. Think outside the bun. By Sprint, get more done with Nextel Direct Connect, only on the Now Network. And by Craftsman, trust in your hands. Up above, aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Get every MLB game in HD this season with DirecTV. Already giving us some beautiful shots from up above Yankee Stadium as Gary Sheffield hits a rocket foul, and there is the airship from DirecTV joining us here in the Bronx. Strike 1 on Sheffield, who homered last night and has hit 6 for the Mets and has been a nice late addition to this team. after getting cut loose by Detroit. It's up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sheffield, then Fernando Tatis, then Ryan Church against Andy Pettitte, and a fly ball into left will send Damon back, and in front of the wall he hauls it in for out number 1. I mean, you almost have to hold your breath every time the ball's hit in the air in this park, Tim.
Well, we'd have loved to see a home run today.
Well, that's the voice, the dulcet tones of Michael Milken, who for how many years have we been doing this?
14 years. 14 years.
14 years. It's keep dad in the game, and money is raised with every home run hit. $14,000 for every home run hit.
That is correct, and we hope to be about $30,000 on Father's Day, the 21st.
And that's when it ends, right?
Correct. It started on the 11th to the 21st, and we've raised over $36 million. And the concept of keeping dad in the game, go get checked for prostate cancer surrounding Father's Day.
Here's a ground ball foul outside first, strike 2.
I noticed you and Tim don't have your blue on. I'm just showing you what you're going to look like on Father's Day here.
There you go. I'll take one. Yeah, I'll take one. And there you go. $14,000 for every home run hit today. I believe there have been 19 hit. There's a Minnesota Twin who went deep. And this is Michael Milken. Every year we get together at this time and we talk about prostate cancer research. Here's a 1 ball, 2 strike count. That's low.
And we reduced the death rate by almost 50%. So it's about 500,000 men and families particularly happy in America as this death rate has dropped with the support of Major League Baseball and particularly Fox.
How many total dollars since you started, Michael?
Well, we've raised $400 million.
That's staggering.
$400 million. And you can go to PCF.org. PCF.org. You can learn all about nutrition, how to stay healthy. And, of course, our objective is to remind you to get checked.
3-2 pitch is fouled out of play off to the right.
That simple blood test, catching any cancer early is very successful. And our goal is still about January 1st, 2016, eliminating all cancer as a cause of death. Now, Tim, I haven't heard today, Rod Stewart.
Another foul.
Rod Stewart recorded those old standards. People were surprised, but he was very successful. I don't know if the fans around America know that you've recorded a CD of old standards here.
I have about 3,000 copies in my closet for the last year and a half. You know what I could do with them?
Well,
you have any ideas?
Well, maybe we can auction them off for prostate cancer research.
Sounds like a good idea.
Tatis draws a walk with 1 out here in the 2nd inning. He has 3,000 in his closet. They only printed 3,011 of
Oh, I don't believe that. I've heard it's a great CD.
Well, if people keep watching here today, knowing the folks in our truck, they will get a nice surprise and maybe hear some of Tim's crooning before the end of the afternoon.
Now, this is the last field in Major League Baseball that we have not been at on the Home Run Challenge.
Well, this should have been the first because there have been 110 home runs hit at this park in 2009. No park has surrendered more home runs than Yankee Stadium. A bunt by Church. The play is at first. Down to second is Tatis. But that's out number 2 in the inning. So the walk to Tatis, he's at second base, and Church in this park bunting with 1 out. I don't know about that. Yeah,
and he'll probably be given a sacrifice, and I don't think he deserves a sacrifice. He's bunting clearly for a base hit, sending Tatis to second base. So it is a sack and no time at bat charge to Church.
Well, I know, Michael, that prostate cancer and prostate cancer research is near and dear to your heart. Meanwhile, we've been here in years past where we've talked about Dusty Baker, who's been in the park. He's been through that. Joe Torre, who's been here managing for the Yankees, obviously, and now is out in Los Angeles, has been through that process.
And Frank Robinson and many others. But with 1 in 6 men getting prostate cancer in America, the group is pretty big, and that's our goal. 100% of all money we raise goes to prostate cancer research, and tying it into bringing dad out to the ball game, enjoying the game with your dad, your coworker, your neighbor. and reminding them to get checked for prostate cancer.
Makes all the sense in the world. And if anybody wants to join in and help by making pledges, you can call 1-800-757-CURE, C-U-R-E, or you can log on to PCF.org. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Homer Santos. And a shot off the end of the bat into left. Will it carry at the wall? It is gone. A front row home run. And Santos goes deep, 2-0 Mets, and $14,000 more for prostate cancer research. He didn't get all of it, but he got enough of it. And Santos hits his 4th home run.
We talked about the difficulty of the Mets coming back today and winning this game, a very difficult game after last night's loss. And Santos, who did not play in last night's game, strikes first.
Well, we were at the Wednesday game also, which was a tough loss for the Mets. But the owners in Major League Baseball, Fred Wilpon, helped us to start out this program with Jerry Reinsdorf, and at the time Rupert Murdoch and Fox owned the Dodgers as this program started 14 years ago.
This is the rookie Fernando Martinez, who is struggling. 8 out of 43, hitting 186. Spins off the plate. He's just 20. And the wonder is, how long will he stay in the big leagues as he dumps one, this one into left center field. That one down toward the end of the bat, but a 2-out base hit. And the top of the 2nd inning continues, and that's the 9th major league hit for Fernando Martinez.
You might think it odd that the Mets are in their lineup. They have 3 left-handed batters today. The left-handers are 2 for 2, 2 singles and a sacrifice by Church. But that's not unusual, because left-handers throughout his career have hit Andy Pettitte well. And one of the reasons, in my opinion, Andy does not come inside enough to left-handed batters.
Now, had you ever seen a ball game end like last night's ball game end in all your years, Tim?
No, I haven't. Nope. Not as stark and not as naked an error as it was. If an outfielder, he's far away from the maddening crowd. If a guy overthrows, it's an error that everybody understands. Last night's wasn't.
Well, they were lucky both runners were running.
Yeah, Joe brought that up earlier. That's right.
They took off and didn't stop running until the trail runner Teixeira crossed home plate, and the Yankees had a 9-8 win. Meanwhile, it counts 0-1 on Castillo, who committed the error on the pop-up out in shallow right. That ball's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now, we wish we could actually hold all of our 60 home run games here at Yankee Stadium with the way they've hit home runs this year.
Absolutely. That was number 111.
And we need a little warmer weather to help the ball carry around the country.
It'll be here.
So this year, in 11 days, we're going to 17 ballparks. So if you feel like you've missed a game or two, we're more than willing to bring you along with us. And it's great to see those Fox crews all around the country.
Well, we appreciate it, Michael, and we thank you for stopping by, and such a worthwhile effort, worthy cause. And congratulations. I know you won't take it, because a lot of people have done a lot of work for this, but congratulations to you representing the entire organization for what you guys have been able to raise so far for prostate cancer research. Well,
I want you to know Fox has been fabulous. The only weakness in your coverage is when you had me on camera one day and I couldn't find the ball. You know, people in the audience think it's easy to find the ball with those cameras, but trying to follow the flight of the ball with the camera is real expertise.
Sounds like last night's game. Somebody couldn't find the ball. They ended.
And that guy's at the plate waiting for a 3-1 pitch. The rain has picked up a little bit here at Yankee Stadium. It was supposed to be out of here, but it has restarted. There's a strike. Castillo has to stay put, and the count 3 balls 2 strikes. So we don't get a chance here at the end of the inning because we have to get away quickly. Michael, thank you very much, and thanks as always for coming by.
I appreciate it. One of the things we want men to know and families is that nutrition can really help in that process. And going to that website, PCF.org, can really give you a lot of information on nutritional research.
Again, PCF.org, $14,000 per home run, and the number you can call, 800-757-CURE. Thanks, Michael.
Great. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you, Michael.
I'm looking forward to that CD.
Okay.
We'll be left with 2,999. Runner will go. 3-2 pitch. And a base hit into right. So Castillo adds to it. Martinez slipped a little bit and holds on at second. Good thing he did for the Mets, as Melky Cabrera fired a one-hop strike to third, and it's 2 on 2 out. This is turning into a long inning for Andy Pettitte. Started with Sheffield hitting the ball to the track in left field, then a walk to Tatis, a bunt for a sacrifice by Church, and a 2-run home run by homered Santos. Dave Island, the pitching coach, is out to talk. A hit by Martinez, a hit by Castillo, and Alex Cora could make this a nice second inning for the Mets. Next pitch that Andy Pettitte throws will be his 50th as he tries to get through the second.
Joe, if I could expand on something, I talked about how left-handers hit Andy Pettitte because Andy, throughout his career, he's a terrific pitcher. 221 lifetime wins, 4th on the Yankee list. But he's never had that knack of throwing that tailing fastball in on left-handed batters. And I can tell you, if a left-hander has that little edge and knows everything's going to be middle of the plate away, he's going to hit the ball with the good part of the bat more often than not. You've got to affect him inside to be successful as a left-hander.
Well, here's one of those lefties who has a hit. Alex Cora pokes at it, fouls it, broke his bat. Count 1-1. Cora is a left-handed batter who in his career has been a better hitter against left-handed pitching. 273 in his career against left-handers, 242 against right-handers. This year 308 coming in against left-handed pitching, and he has really stepped up and filled, or at least tried to fill, a big hole for the Mets at short, playing with a sprained ligament in his right thumb. That ball is inside. It's on the corner in the count 1-2.
There's that curveball that left-handers think's going to be away from them, and it stays inside. But it was a strike.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out, 2 runs home. Blocked by Posada, 2-2. On deck is the number 3 hitter, Beltran. The Yankees in their half of the second will have Rodriguez, Cano, and Posada against Nieve.
He's probably going to hit the ball to left field.
Up the middle. Nice play by Jeter to his left, and a dig by Teixeira to end the inning. 2 runs in the inning. Could have been more if not for that good defensive play by Jeter and Teixeira. The shot by Santos, 2-0 Mets after an inning and a half. Lime, the drinkability of Bud Light with a refreshing taste of lime. We go into the bottom of the second inning, and it's a 2-0 Mets lead on the home run by homered Santos. And that tight breaking ball is down and away, ball one to Alex Rodriguez. Hitting just .233. Pitch is high from Nieve, who has shown good velocity here in the first couple of innings, in the count 2-0. What a good play by Derek Jeter and Mark Teixeira defensively to end the top half of this second and avoid at least one more run scoring as Rodriguez pops it up into left. Mike Carey back at the wall, and it is gone for a home run. Home run Rodriguez, his 9th of the year, and it's 2-1.
Is among the highest home runs that I've seen in years. It looked like it was higher than it was far.
You can say what you want about right field here at the new Yankee Stadium. We've seen some balls carry pretty well to left.
Line to line in this ballpark.
We've seen it twice or maybe 3 times already in this game alone. The ball hit by Sheffield to start the top of the inning. The home run by Santos didn't get it all but got it out. Teixeira had a broken bat home run here at Yankee Stadium earlier in the season. That ball went, I agree with you, it looked like more up than out, and it still carried out of the park for his 9th of the year. It's a 1-run game, and Cano pops it up. Shallow center. And Beltran is there for out number 1. That's number 562 in the career of Alex Rodriguez. Next on the list is Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. You got to add one more to left, one more to right. 112. Actually 2 more to left. The ball hit by Rodriguez, the ball hit by Santos. With 1 out, nobody on, Posada looks at a ball high.
Joe, I think what this is going to present for outfielders is a very difficult decision on depth. I think your center fielder has to play normal depth in this ballpark against most hitters. But I believe the right and left fielders can pinch in just a bit because the ball over your head is going to be out. It's much the same as a left fielder or a right fielder playing Wrigley Field. They say shallow is better. Fenway Park, left field, shallow is better. I think the corners in this ballpark, shallow is better.
It's fouled back and out of play. 2-1 on Posada, who's had a very good bounce back year. 51 games last year, had the bad shoulder, hit .268, 3 homers, 22 RBIs. Hitting just under 300, has 9 home runs in 35 games with 28 RBIs. He spent time on the DL this year, had a bad hamstring as he takes ball 3, 3-1. There's strike 2 from Nieve, full count. Hideki Matsui on deck. Run is home, 1 out, nobody on for the Yankees. To the right side, that's Tatis to his right, flips to Nieve, 2 out. And with the bases empty, Matsui, who went deep last night, will be the hitter. I know the question has been asked many times, so I'll ask you, do you think the Yankees, if this trend continues in their first year in their new home park, will have to do something to address what is becoming known as, you don't want to say a teeny tiny ballpark, but that's basically what it's playing like.
It is. Of course, the old ballpark played like that, but not like this one. And my answer to that question is yes, I do. I don't think it'll be a dramatic change, but I think if it continues at that pace, for the dignity and credibility of the New York Yankee franchise, I think the fences have to be moved back 10 feet, 12 feet, 15 feet, perhaps.
Ken Rosenthal is with us. Ken, what do you think? What do you hear? Is that even being discussed at this point?
Joe, not yet. And one reason it hasn't been discussed at length is because we don't know the effect of the old Yankee Stadium coming down. That's going to happen at some point. It sits between the Harlem River and this stadium, and that could affect things as well. Now, the Yankees say that as presently constructed, their team is pretty well suited for this park. Fly ball hitters and pitchers who strike out a lot of guys and basically keep the ball on the ground.
That is fouled off to the left, and it looked like it might have a chance of coming back fair. Stays fouled. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Matsui.
Joe, I'm not sure the truck is checking this, but I don't believe that a major league team can change the dimensions of a ballpark during the season.
No, I think that's dead on right.
Yeah, I think they have to wait until obviously after the season's over, and then they make the changes.
I agree with you. I mean, this is not how this ballpark was designed to play. $1.5 billion stadium. You don't want it known for cheap home runs day after day after day. Talking to David Wright before the game, he said he wished that these two ballparks could meet somewhere in the middle.
That's a good line. That's good.
His play's too big and this place plays too small. 2-2 the count. 2 out, nobody on. 1 run home, and there's a line drive caught by Castillo. And the Yankee fans have more fun with Luis Castillo. Alex Rodriguez got under it and got enough of it to make it 2-1 after 2. Back after this from your local Fox station. Third inning now. Mets and the Yankees. Mets lead it 2-1 on a 2-run shot by Homered Santos, the rookie catcher, and Andy Pettitte, who had a long second inning, deals with Beltran. and that's into center. Easy for Brett Gardner. One pitch, one out in the third, and we go for a DirecTV game break. Here's Chris Rose.
All right, Joe, out at Wrigley, Twins and Cubs. Milton Bradley up. Carlos Gomez is going to snag it, and since it's the third out of the inning, feel free to throw it into the stands. Or don't, because Jason Kubel's going to deposit one. That off of Rich Harden, his 11th of the year. Anthony Swarzak, the Twins rookie, 7 shutout innings. 2-zip your final. Remember to follow your favorite out-of-market team only on DirecTV. Joe and Tim.
All right, Chris, thank you. So the Cubs have lost the first 2 games of that set. And with 1 out, nobody on, David Wright takes a ball. You heard Chris Rose reference Milton Bradley, or at least the play that Bradley made last night, making a play in the 8th inning and flipping the ball into the seats, not realizing how many outs there were.
Man, I'm telling you. Game here with Castillo dropping the ball, and then in Chicago, what's going on? Absolutely no excuse for ever not knowing how many outs there are in an inning. And Milton Bradley did that yesterday and then flipped the ball in the stands.
Two balls and a strike, 1 out, nobody on, and that's chopped to third. It stays fair, and that's a base hit. Not sure that if Rodriguez comes up with it cleanly, he gets Wright, who can run. As that ball just stayed inside the line.
Yeah, I don't think so, because he had to play David Wright deep to begin with, and even had he come up, too tough a play, too fast a runner.
Should be a base hit. 1 for 2. First time Wright hit the ball right on the nose and right at the left fielder Johnny Damon. With the runner at second to end the top of the first. Here's Sheffield, who went deep last night. Ken Rosenthal is with us. Time is called, and Ken, Sheffield is dealing with something in his knee.
Right, actually, Joe, it's behind the knee, back of his leg. And he told me yesterday that he's going to need an MRI on that area. When it bothers him is when he explodes out of the box. And he says he keeps reminding himself, take your time, take your time. And then Chef, as only he could say it, said, me as a take your time baseball player, that's not good.
So there's another guy that has to go into an MRI machine, which is the last thing the Mets want to hear. Here's a pop-up, and Teixeira calls off Pettitte. 2 out. I mean, this is getting to the point of being ridiculous for the Mets. 8 players on the disabled list. It includes Jose Reyes, Carlos Delgado. John Maine just went on. Oliver Perez. Putz, who is their big setup reliever. And you look even at the bottom line, you forget about Billy Wagner, who is on with his left elbow, maybe back before the end of the year, right at the end, $10.5 million. That's a lot of money sitting unavailable to Jerry Manuel. 2 out, a check on the runner, David Wright. Mentioned the steals for David Wright. He is number 2 in the league with 17 stolen bases. You would think this would be a typical running situation for a guy like David Wright, but you've got Andy Pettitte, who's got that great move on the mound, and you've got a rather slow track out there with all the rain that's fallen on that infield dirt. See if he goes anyway. 1-0 pitch. There's a strike.
I heard Keith Hernandez on the Mets broadcast last night talk about Tatis and a longer swing this year. And we decided to go back and look at the setup of both last year and this year's NL comeback player of the year last year. And there is definitely a difference in Tatis this year. He's holding his bat below parallel. Last year it was about parallel to the ground. This year it's almost pointing to the ground before his back. Now what does that mean? That means that he does have a longer swing, and it takes him longer to get the bat head in the strike zone.
That ball's grounded up the middle, a base hit. David Wright will stop at second. It's 2 on with 2 out. Tatis on for the second time, and Ryan Church will have a chance to add to the Mets lead.
you could see when he points that bat toward third base, what that means is he's got to take a long time as opposed to holding the bat straight up and down and parallel to the ground. It takes a lot longer to get that bat head in the hitting area. Darryl Strawberry with that when he back in 1983 when he showed up here in New York electrifying this city. Howard Johnson was a member of that team a couple of years later, and Straw had that bat almost pointed to center field, which meant that he had to bring it around. That's why he had great power the other way, great power to center field, but he did have a long time to get it through the strike zone.
Brian Church takes a ball. Mets are happy to have Church back off the disabled list and available. Here's a 1-0. That is to the third baseman. Rodriguez makes the play, and the inning is over. Mets now stranded 5. We played 2.5 here at Yankee Stadium. 2 home runs hit today, and the Mets lead it 2-1. Of the aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Get every MLB game in HD this season with DirecTV. Down below, Nieve works with a 1-run lead and misses down an in-ball 1 to Melky Cabrera. Melky's hitting .291 and mixed into those hits and the home run totals a flair for the dramatic so far in the first half of 2009. And with Melky moving around in the batter's box, he takes strike 1.
You can almost say what batter's box now.
That's a little high. Yeah, it's completely gone. A little bit of white left. As they've tried to dry that area, we've had a lot of rain today, and it's been falling since the bottom of the first. And that ball's chopped to second. Castillo makes the play. 1 out. Leadoff man is gone for Nieve, and the batter will be Brett Gardner. There you go, up above the DirecTV airship, getting a good view of really one of the more impressive parts of this $1.5 billion stadium, which is the outside and what rings this stadium. I mean, it is a massive structure when you come up to it. It's impressive outside and, of course, in.
60% bigger than the building itself of the old Yankee Stadium. Almost a mile in circumference. I was thinking about that driving in today. How are you going to explain that, a mile? I remember going around a 440 track in high school, and just think about it. It's 4 times larger than a 440 track. I used to think when I ran track in high school that it was forever trying to get around a 440.
Here's a pop-up left side out of play off the bat of Gardner, in the count 1-2. A .266 average. Inside, a lot's been written about the attendance. Last night they had 47,967. Just shy of a sellout. Only sold out game they've had this year at Yankee Stadium was the opener. It went into the category of a sellout when they had 48,271. Well, action for the Yankees out in their bullpen.
That's odd, and a bad omen for Yankee fans. Andy Pettitte's only given up 2 runs and certainly would be trotted out there normally, but Dave Island, the pitching coach, now on the horn, and that means get Aceves ready in a hurry.
And you can see the frustration all over the body language of Joe Girardi. Talking to the training staff, talking to Dave Island. That's off the plate, a foul ball. Count still 2-2. They're still, even though the Yankees, and I think it can get lost because of the 3-game set where they were swept at the Red Sox during the week. Over the past calendar month, the Yankees are 20-9, which is the best record across Major League Baseball. But they do have questions with that pitching staff, and in my mind, the number one question is, what's the deal with Chien-Ming Wang? A 2-time 19-game winner, a guy who has started postseason series, who is throwing hard. I mean, he's throwing up into the mid-90s at times, but his arm slot is changing, his sinker isn't sinking, and his ERA is gigantic. He's winless on the year. There's a fly ball into left off the bat of Gardner, and that's out number 2.
One of the reasons is that on his sinker, he's dropping his hand. When you don't stay on top of the ball, you don't get the sink that's down. What you get is a tailing fastball and not a sinking fastball. That's one of the problems that's clear with Chien-Ming. He will be the starter on Wednesday night, and Joe Girardi's words before the game, he's got to produce. And boy, that's a tough order when you go out there. I mean, you know, what that says is if you don't, you're not going to be in the rotation after that.
Breaking ball's a good one from Nieve, and a strike to Derek Jeter. So the other guy is Phil Hughes and where he fits in. He looked very good out of the bullpen in relief earlier in the week, backing up Andy Pettitte, pitching a perfect 7th inning against Tampa Bay. And there's Phil Hughes. Then he had to pick up Chien-Ming Wang on Wednesday at Boston when he threw 65 pitches, 63 pitches. And so the question with Hughes becomes, as a 22-year-old, do you continue his development as a starter, or are you enticed by what he could do as a setup reliever to Mariano Rivera out of the bullpen? Because he can throw mid-90s. Looked very good doing it this week. Here's a 2-1 pitch. 3 balls and a strike with Damon on deck.
And now Aceves being up in the bullpen appears to have been a false start, because he has sat down and Pettitte's still in the dugout.
Here's a 3-1 with 2 out. Full count. Well, Pettitte was bothered by a bad back not too long ago. Struck out 6 in a game at Texas. Talking with his catcher Jorge Posada. Struck out 7 against the Rays. That was on Monday. A 5-3 win. He had good relief help from Hughes, Phil Koch, and Rivera. 3-2 pitch. Hard hit to the right side and right at Tatis. We go into the 4th. Mets hanging on that Santos home run, leading the Yankees 2-1. Home of the famous made-to-your-order $5 footlong by Pettitte and by Bank of America Home Loans. Starting now, Home has a new address. Steady drizzle pretty much since the beginning of this game. And Homer Santos, who has the biggest swing so far, a 2-run shot back in the 2nd, leads it off and takes a ball. So there was action for the Yankees in their pen with Aceves. He sits down, and Andy Pettitte back to the hill, down by a run. Santos, Martinez, and Castillo. 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the 4th inning.
I was just thinking about that home run by Santos. It just cleared the fence, and his first home run as a Met at Fenway Park on Saturday, May 23rd, just cleared the yellow line, and the Mets had to dispute that with 2 out against Papelbon in the 9th inning.
And that's won that series at Fenway Park. 2 balls and a strike, and Santos totally fooled by that pitch from Andy Pettitte. 2-2.
Good breaking ball from Pettitte. Good rotation and the perfect speed.
And again, a swing and a miss, and the first strikeout of the day. He gets it on another breaking ball. And that's how the 4th inning begins. Here is our fan cam. Bank of America fan cam. The New York fans enjoying this game in the rain. It's brought to you by Bank of America Home Loans, making a commitment to home and to home owners. Starting now, Home has a new address. A lot of different ways to protect yourself from the rain as Martinez swings at the first pitch and fouls it back, strike 1. Fernando singled his first time up. Came in hitting 186, and because of all the injuries, getting a chance to play. And even when Ryan Church came back and was activated. Jerry Manuel, it seemed, was the first guy to say we want to keep him here and see what he can do.
He'll probably be kept with the Mets until next Thursday. After an off day on Monday, the Mets are scheduled to play 3 games in Baltimore unless they're rained out of a game here either today or tomorrow. And Martinez will probably go back to AAA Buffalo after that.
And talking to Jerry Manuel, we brought up the point, it's one thing to let a young guy come up, hit, try and figure it out when you're 20. It's so much better if the team's playing well, if you've got all your players, you can mix him in, you can see what he can do. In this case, the Mets are so banged up, they're looking at a 20-year-old to try and inject life as he's 2 for 2 in this game. And they're counting on him to come up with big hits, and he limps a little bit getting back to the bag after beating this out-of-the-glove flip from Robinson Cano.
Signed as a 16-year-old from the Dominican Republic.
And now Castillo, who's 1 for 2. Backing out of play, strike 1. You want a stat? Here's a stat for everything, and here's one for you. This is the first time a team has 3 players named Fernando in its starting lineup.
That's great.
Only 16 players in baseball history named Fernando, and the Mets have 3 in their starting group today. Castillo fouls it down the third base line. He's in the hole 0-2.
I guess the most famous, Fernando Valenzuela, the Rookie of the Year in 1981 with the Dodgers.
Trying to think of more.
I guess the most famous movie star with the first name of Fernando was Lamas, as Billy Crystal tells us often, or used to.
You look model. 0-2 pitch, and time was not called. That pitch counts, I believe. I believe it's 1 ball 2 strikes. It is. That pitch counted. Pettitte stopped, Castillo stepped out, and the pitch counts, and fortunately for the Yankees, Posada caught it. Good pitch in on the hands of Castillo, and the out at second for the second out of the inning. So the force out, 5-4. Thinking maybe he made a good enough pitch to get an inning-ending double play ball. It wasn't hit well enough, and now with a runner at first, Castillo, the inning continues for Cora.
Andy Pettitte may be a little upset because Castillo had stepped out and that he threw that little blooper pitch. A lot of times a pitcher can get hurt because you're so geared with that torque to throw something hard, and you see the batter step out. They don't like that. I don't blame them.
A check on Castillo, who has stolen 7, been caught twice. Certainly a time to run if he can figure out Andy Pettitte. 2 out. Cora not a power hitter at the plate. Another check on Castillo.
With a left-handed pitcher with the move as good as Pettitte, the one thing you look for if you're the base runner at first base is if the right foot goes behind the stiff left leg. If it does that, the pitcher's committed to go home. You cannot put the right foot behind the left leg and then go to first.
Kind of a slide step for strike 1.
Yeah, that's unusual for Pettitte.
36, about to be 37 on Monday, and he's bringing out new tricks. 22nd round pick in 1990, a 21-game winner in 1996. Fools Cora and count 0-2.
I think in an effort to fool the runner at first, he's fooling the hitter. 2 slide steps to get ahead of Cora.
Castillo has a tiny lead over at first. Two strikes on the hitter, two out, even more of a reason to run. And because of that, Pettitte throws over again.
So you can see that right foot go behind the left leg, and he went to first base. Once that happens, once again, he's got to go to first base. He can't go home.
That's ball one. Alex Cora, someday you get the feeling, would make a terrific major league manager. He's in his early 30s, 33 years old. Younger brother of Joey Cora, who is on the coaching staff for the White Sox. Really a good veteran presence on this Mets team. And he is fooled on the pitch, strikes out. Strikeout number 2 for Pettitte. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning at Yankee Stadium. Damon, Teixeira, Rodriguez coming up. 2-1 Mets. We'll put them back up. Go to peopleallstars.com and vote for your favorite everyday all-star who could represent your club and be honored at the 2009 All-Star Game in St. Louis on July 14th here on Fox. That's fouled outside third and caught by David Wright. Johnny Damon is out to start the bottom of the 4th. So from this area and from these two teams, the Mets, Jonathan Zimmerman, Carroll Cawley, Tara Suri, Zero Goldman, Michael and Christina Pesci from Parsippany, New Jersey, and Farley Boyle. And what it is I think it's probably worthwhile to explain it. After Teixeira does something with this first pitch, and he rips it into right, sinking line drive, and caught by Ryan Church. What a good catch, 2 out.
Good play by Ryan Church. No loft from Teixeira, who's had a lot of loft in this ballpark.
13 of Teixeira's 20 home runs have been hit here at Yankee Stadium this season, and that one just, it was scorched, just a sinking line drive. And here's Alex Rodriguez with 2 out and nobody on. So often we get wrapped up with talking about or thinking about how important sports are in our lives, or baseball, or individual baseball players. And on that night, July 14th in St. Louis, we will have the best of the best on the field at Busch Stadium for the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. But MLB and People magazine are taking the time to recognize people in communities who make a difference. So each team will be initially represented by 3 players, be pared down to 1 by each team, and those 30 people who do so much work in their community spread across this country will be honored in St. Louis on July 14th. Nice touch from baseball and People magazine. Here's a 2-0 pitch. 2-1 from Nieve. You can't tell me that the Houston Astros have 5 pitchers in their rotation better than Nieve with the kind of stuff he's bringing. And it may carry over to the Mets as well. He looks like he can pitch.
He does. Very effective thus far.
It's a pretty good pitch. Called ball 3, 3-1. Good tight breaking ball. Velocity over 90. He's been hitting 94 at times on the radar gun. He's behind on the count to Rodriguez, 3-1.
I mean, here's a guy who could not make a Houston Astros staff that ranks 12th in the National League in earned run average.
That missed, and a 2-out walk. First walk issued by Nieve. But what an opportunity for Fernando Nieve. And as we mentioned, this is his 13th game overall in the big leagues. Not start. 13th game since 2006. He's made a relief appearance this year for the Mets. Now getting a start because John Maine went on the DL. And he leads the Yankees here at Yankee Stadium after a crushing defeat last night for the Mets. Trying to pick up his team. It's 2-1. Robinson Cano takes a strike. One ball, one strike. Runner at first is Rodriguez, who has stolen 2. While that hip gets stronger and stronger. Count 1-1 on Cano, who flied to center his first time up, hitting .296. 10 homers, 36 RBIs. Off the fists. Good pitch by Nieve, and Cora's out to make the catch. Inning over into the 5th. Still 2-1 Mets. Big bats coming up for the Mets in the 5th. chat with Joe Girardi, the Yankee manager. All the people in the new one. Not much is left in the old one. That's foul. You name it. If it could be pulled out of the old Yankee Stadium, it was auctioned off. Just like they did in St. Louis at Busch Stadium. Let your mind get creative with whatever it could be. You heard from Derek Jeter with Chris Rose before the game that he took his old locker from the old Yankee Stadium, and the seats are gone over there. Soon to be popping up in living rooms
seats
across the New York area.
Excuse me, Joe. Seats are gone. Grass is gone. A bare field.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. Beltran goes down and dumps it into left field for a leadoff base hit. Here is our chat with Joe Girardi, and the first question was about Andy Pettitte and what was going on when they had Aceves warming up earlier in the game.
Andy just had a little hard time breathing, but he got his breath back, and we were a little bit concerned, and the doctor looked at him and said he was fine.
So nothing with the back, nothing with anything else?
No, he just had a hard time breathing that inning, and we got that figured out, I guess.
Well, that sounds like a good thing to get that figured out.
Yeah, that's an issue that you usually don't have to deal with in a game, but we had to today.
Yeah, you've had to deal with a lot so far this year, and I wonder where you are with Chin-Ming Wong. I mean, that's kind of the one question mark in your rotation that I know you want to get figured out.
Yeah, he has a start coming up on Wednesday, and as we told him, it's a big start for him. I mean, he has to perform in that start on Wednesday, and he's got a lovely wife expecting a baby on Tuesday, so a lot of times after that baby, good things happen.
Let's talk about your team in general, and maybe last night's game specifically. Have you ever, Joe, seen a game end like that?
No, I have not. I've never seen it end on a pop-up. Every once in a while you get fortunate to get it on a ground ball, but never a pop-up like that. And Tex, I mean, he just ran hard the whole way and never gave up, and that's why we won that game.
And the team in general, are you tired of hearing questions about trying to beat the Boston Red Sox by this point?
Well, we shouldn't have to hear it for a while. We've struggled against them, and we've had a chance to win some of those games, but we haven't. And, you know, the big picture is we're still only 2 games behind him with a long ways to go.
Last question, Brian Bruni, when do you get him back?
He had a great day today. He went through in Trenton at 1 o'clock. He's already back here at the park, so we expect him early next week.
Those guys don't have trouble getting back here to the big leagues.
No, they do not, especially with the amenities that we have.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, guys.
There's a rocket down the left field line off the bat of David Wright. Beltran will dig for third. They'll hold him there. David Wright, his second hit of the day, came in leading baseball, hitting .364. He's 2 for 3. And it's second and third with nobody out for the Mets here in the 5th.
Not only leading average in baseball, but also the leading average against left-handed pitching, batting .500 coming into the game. He's 2 for 3 today. And the Mets with a chance for a big inning.
19th double of the year for David Wright. Those numbers should be big for David Wright with a spacious outfield at Citi Field. He will add to his doubles total with those balls that rocket off the wall. And here's Sheffield, who is 0 for 2. He's hit the ball hard a couple of times. Second and third, nobody out. And he lines a base hit into right. David Wright had to hold. Scoring easily is Beltran. First and third, nobody out, and it's 3-1 Mets. That pitch was up, and Gary Sheffield just served it into right.
Gary Sheffield, a dominating hitter in baseball for a long, long time. At age 40, can still buggy whip. One of the great baseball expressions, buggy whip, and that's what Sheffield has done for about 18 years.
It's a nice addition to this Mets club after getting let go by the Detroit Tigers, who owed him a lot of money.
Took him a while to get started with the Mets, but he has come on strong the last 3 weeks.
Ken Rosenthal, did you expect Gary Sheffield would add as much as he has added so far to this Mets club?
Joe, not at all. In fact, I wrote that I thought he'd be released by the end of April. Shows how much I know. But he has really come on for them, and he's brought them an edge, a certain toughness, along with Alex Cora, that they were missing before. Detroit released him in part because they wanted to get more athletic. They have, but right now they could use Sheff's bat too.
Tatis takes a ball outside from Andy Pettitte. First 3 have reached. Beltran a base hit, Wright a double, RBI hit by Sheffield. First and third for Tatis. He's 1 for 1 with a walk. Strike one.
Last time up, we talked about Tatis last year and this year. This was when he was the comeback player of the year to the left of your screen, and you can see that bat. He's got farther to go to get the bat through the strike zone. This year, that bat is not parallel, almost pointed toward the Mets dugout. And the more pointed that is, then the longer it takes you. And that's why Keith Hernandez was talking about that long swing that he's noticed from Tatis this year.
To the left side, Rodriguez to second, out over to first, safe. The run scores. It's 4-1. Tatis hustling, turns it into just a force out at second. Only 1 out in the inning, and he drives home his 13th run of the year.
I tell you, Joe, it's not virtuous for a guy to run hard out of the box trying to get an infield hit, because that's going to help him. But when a guy runs hard out of the box on a fielder's choice, then he should really be given credit, and that's what Tatis did.
So he's at first, 1 out, 2 runs are home. It's a 4-1 game, and a check on the runner Tatis with Ryan Church at the plate. Andy Pettitte will not be long for this game. He's approaching 100 pitches on the day, trying to get through the 5th. This will be pitch number 95 right here. And it's a breaking ball for a strike to Church, who's 0 for 1. Mets are getting what they need from Fernando Nieve. And Nieve has outpitched Andy Pettitte to this point. On the outside corner, strike 2. Matchups next week. Fox Saturday Baseball brought to you by Sears. Major League Baseball continues. Seves, who was warming earlier, is back on the bullpen mound. Ball 1. In fact, when you talk about interleague play, the Yankees, starting on June 19th, will have 9 straight games in National League parks.
Florida, Atlanta, and Citi Field here in New York. The Mets home.
That's a foul ball, and it's a big deal for these American League clubs who are constructed with a designated hitter in mind, and that's how they build a roster. And then you go into a National League park, and the Yankees have to play 9 straight where they can't use a DH. That's a big deal. Girardi and American League managers use the DH a couple of different ways. They have their typical everyday DH, or they can spread it around and give guys half a day off, not having to play in the field. Typically the DH is Matsui as Church strikes out. 3rd strikeout of the day for Andy Pettitte. 2nd out of the inning.
Pettitte has had good luck with his breaking ball. Nice play by Posada to prevent Tatis from going to second.
In steps Homer Santos, who played so well while Brian Schneider was on the disabled list that when Schneider came back, they had 3 catchers, the Mets did, and they moved Ramon Castro to the Chicago White Sox. Schneider, very good defensive catcher. That pitch is down, swung on and missed. Strike 1.
Santos, a guy who was the 4th or 5th catcher in spring training, deserves a lot of credit staying with them in AAA ball, and called up and doing a terrific job.
The rain stops here at Yankee Stadium as the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 balls and a strike. And a fly ball into right. Pretty well hit. Back is Cabrera at the wall over his head. Pettitte digging around third. He comes to the plate and will score easily. Another run for the Mets. It's 5-1.
Melky Cabrera is normally a center fielder, and he normally doesn't have to play balls like this, where a ball is wrapping back toward right field. He goes after it. This is a ball that could have been caught. Maybe not should have, but it could have been caught. But you can see that ball tailing. Once Melky looked, gave that ball a chance to get over his head, and the Mets tack on another one. I wonder why there was that hesitation with Tatis at 2 outs.
And now Martinez squibs one to third. That's played by Rodriguez. Santos is caught in a rundown and tagged out to end the inning. Good heads up play by Rodriguez. Had no chance to get Fernando Martinez at first. The fielder's choice ends the inning, but the Mets come up with 3 and lead it 5-1 after 4.5. It's a wet day, but overall a pleasant day. Whether you are in Central Park or you are in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium as we go into the bottom of the 5th, and Nieve's done his part. His teammates have backed him with 5 runs on 11 hits against Andy Pettitte. And Jorge Posada will dig his way in to start the 5th. He's 0 for 1. Ball 1 tails down and away. There hasn't been much straight out of the hand of Nieve, who was injected into this starting rotation for the New York Mets because of the injury to John Maine.
Tailing fastball. He's gotten in on the left-hander, specifically Robinson Cano twice. Good slider behind in the count in fastball situations.
Yeah, that second thing is what I like the most, and if I'm Jerry Manuel, I'm looking at a right-hander who has shown, or Dan Worthen, the pitching coach, that he will drive these big left-handed batters off the top of the plate, which he's done to Teixeira as well. And a fly ball into left field. Martinez is there, and that is out number 1 to start the 5th inning. We talked to Jerry Manuel during the break and talked to him about how pleased he must be the way his team has rebounded this afternoon after a tough loss last night.
Yeah, we have been somewhat resilient when it comes to those things. It seems like we kind of come accustomed to trying to pick ourselves back up and hopefully go out and play a good ball game the next day.
Tim and I were saying, I defy anybody to tell me that Houston has 5 better starters than Nieve, and the way he's pitched here today, he's already got you smiling down there.
Yeah, he's done a good job for us. Like I said, if once he be able to mix his secondary pitches in behind in the count is a key for him. Whereas historically he has relied on that fastball at all times when he got into trouble, and at this level, if it's fast and straight, people have an opportunity to put a good swing on it.
And the guy catching him today is also the guy that's gone deep, Santos, who really has been a nice find for your ball club this season.
No question. Spring training, the last few ball games, I think he hit a couple balls out. He's always been a good receiver, good thrower, and a good game caller. So that's something that we thought we would need or add to our unit once we got going.
Hey, thanks, Jerry, for your time.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. The Mets are 3 games over the 500 mark, 4 games out behind the Phillies, who play tonight against Boston. That is fouled off to the right. Still 1-2. By the way, they have had an official scoring change on that ball that in essence ended the top of this 5th inning. They gave an infield hit to Fernando Martinez, who's 3 for 3, and then ruled that Santos was out on a fielder's choice, 5 for 5, but they gave Martinez his 3rd hit of the day. 1-2 pitch is down and in. So Santos has had a nice day, as we just talked about with Jerry Manuel. He has an RBI double and a 2-run home run, and he's done a good job with Nieve on the mound in what is an important start, albeit in the middle of June here at Yankee Stadium. That's in the dirt, and a full count.
Yankees, however, with 21 comeback wins this year, that leads the major leagues. They have had more than a flair for the dramatic.
And a 1-out walk. Second walk issued by Nieve. Hyundai in-game box score for the Yankees. Just the 1 hit. Alex Rodriguez, the solo home run on a ball that he got under quite a bit, but it carried out to left. His 9th of the season. Only other base runners on the 2 walks. Rodriguez has a walk, and Matsui now has one. Introducing the all-new 306 horsepower rear-wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. Here's Cabrera. Melky Cabrera 0 for 1. And a painful foul ball for strike 1. It was a big month of May for Melky Cabrera. When I mentioned the first time he was up, he was on the list more than once in ending games in the Yankees' favor.
Late March, Brett Gardner was named the center fielder, and Melky Cabrera could have pouted, whined. He did none of that. Kept doing his work, and he has had a terrific first 2.5 months of the season, to his credit.
Overall, started the day hitting .291. That's in the dirt, scooped up by Santos. Cabrera won a game with a home run against the A's, won a game with a hit against the Twins, and won a game against the Phillies. Not long after that,
Joe, that last play by Santos, he was having a very difficult time in spring training with balls in the dirt. Sandy Alomar, who was the catching instructor for the Mets, suggested a larger glove. And that's exactly what Santos did. To the point where, as Jay Harwitz explained to us before the game, that glove is a big reason that he's in the big leagues now, a bigger catcher's mitt.
Two is ripped with foul. Talk about clutch performances, and Pepsi is the official soft drink of Major League Baseball, and they congratulate Melky Cabrera. The fans have voted May's MLB Clutch Performer of the Month. Learn more about the MLB Clutch Performer of the Month award. Go to PepsiClutch.com. Here's a fly ball into right. Back at the track is Church, and one step in front of the wall. The Clutch Performer for the month of May falls short, 2 out. And now Nieve is 1 out away from getting through 5.
I just thought it was so appropriate the way you read that promo, May's Clutch Performer, because Willie Mays, that word is synonymous with clutch performers. Greatest player I ever saw.
Here's Brett Gardner, who's 0 for 1. Hitting .264, takes the ball. Home plate umpire, by the way, is the crew chief, Gary Cedarstrom. Jim Wolf at first, Brian O'Nora at second, and Fielding Colbreth is at third. Gardner takes a strike.
In fact, 58 years ago, Willie Mays breaking in with the New York Giants about 3/4 of a mile from here. Coogan's Bluff, right across the river.
Over but low, 2-1.
0 for his first 23 under Leo DeRocher. And he did all right since then. Ended his career here in New York. 1973 as a member of the Mets.
That's outside, 3-1 with Jeter on deck. There used to be a ballpark there.
That's right.
Three balls and a strike. And a line drive is off the end of the bat. Base hit into right field. Matsui will make it to third base. First and third, 2 out. Jeter coming up. So Nieve fell behind on the count. Got a pitch up, and Gardner wraps it into right for a base hit.
Just off the end of the bat, but Brett Gardner will take it. And now the Yankees hopeful of a big hit by Jeter.
And now the second base umpire, Ryan O'Nora, comes in, and he is going to ask the grounds crew to come out and work on the mound. Nieve having trouble with his footing. We just showed you Coogan's Bluff. There used to be a ballpark there. And here is a selection off Tim McCarver's latest album, put to pictures.
And there used to be a ballpark where the field was warm and green, and the people played their crazy game with a joy I'd never seen. Yes, there used to be a ballpark right here.
How about that? Whether it's
That's very nice.
Polo
Thank
Grounds,
you.
whether it's Ebbets Field, the last version of Yankee Stadium, Shea Stadium. And I guess they're calling that a hit now. The new hit single, one for my baby and one more for the road. And the video we just played you, there used to be a ballpark, and there is you as a member of the Rat Pack down in the bottom right of that graphic.
Well, that song written by Joe Raposo, and Joe told me that story 22 years ago, standing in front of that structure where Ebbets Field was, and with crocodile tears, he wrote that song and played it for Sinatra. And Sinatra, after he was through singing the song in his Palm Springs home, turned around and said, "Kid, you hit a home run." And that story was verified by a guy who probably knows more about music and certainly the Great American Songbook than anybody in the country, and that's Jonathan Schwartz, who was married in Joe Raposo's apartment here in New York.
Meanwhile, you don't even know about this. The Hard Rock Cafe here at Yankee Stadium has their own little mini shrine to Tim McCarver, hanging or sitting underneath the hanging guitar of Bernie Williams as Tim's CD and caricature. And by the way, we showed you the old Yankee Stadium. How in the world is that golden bat, which told us the direction of the wind at the old Yankee Stadium, how's that not auctioned off at this point?
That's a great point.
That might be something for your dining room.
Yeah.
Here's Jeter, first and third, 2 out. And inside ball 1 as Nieve has a fresh mound with which to work. Got a chance to throw some warm-up tosses. There's that bat. Yankees trying to jump back in it. Jeter grounds to short for a flips inning over. We'll go to the 6th. By the way, thanks to Bob Myers, who draws our caricatures. We go into the 6th at Yankee Stadium, 5-1 Mets. By Samsung Mobile. Make yourself organized with the Samsung Jack phone. New pitcher for the Yankees, Alfredo Aceves. He takes over in the 6th inning, in the Zantac pitcher profile for Aceves. Is a 4-1 record, and a guy, Tim, that they think may be eventually a starter for the Yankees.
Signed by the Yankees March of last year. He's the fifth Mexican-born Yankee to pitch for New York, nicknamed Ace. Ace.
Heartburn, attack it with Zantac. And here is Ken Rosenthal with more on this Yankee right-hander. What do you have?
Joe, the Yankees, for all the money they spent, they've done a good job in recent years in Mexico. And Aceves is one of the free agents that they signed out of Mexico. Ramiro Pena, the infielder that we've seen at times this season, is another. They've got a scout down there named Lee Sigmund. He had also recommended that the Yankees go after, in the Rule 5 draft, Joakim Soria. But, of course, the Royals grabbed Soria before the Yankees could get near him.
Well, that's certainly another fertile area from which to mine talent, and the Yankees doing a good job in Mexico, and Aceves really has had a good year. Coming out of the bullpen and maybe eventually in the rotation. Meanwhile, Andy Pettitte went 5 innings, allowed 5 runs on 12 hits. And Castillo right back at him today after the error last night and a rough night trying to sleep. Is 1 for 3 for his Mets, who lead it 5-1. Two. Pretty good pitch, ball 3.
Aceves trying to wrap that breaking ball. Looked like a slider. The outside part, it just missed.
Ground ball to second. Cano hit right at him. 1 out. Hyundai in-game box score for the Mets as we introduce the all-new 306 horsepower rear-wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. Cora digging in. He is 1 for 3. Beltran has a hit. David Wright has a couple of hits. He's 2 for 3. Sheffield with an RBI single. Tatis with a single and RBI, 2 runs scored. Santos has had a big afternoon, and the rookie Fernando Martinez 3 singles. Here's Cora. Strike 1.
You had that note earlier. The first time 3 Fernandos have been in the same lineup in baseball history, and all have done well today.
Fernando Tatis, Fernando Martinez, and Fernando Nieve. Oh, 1 pitch. 0-2. Because of injury, certainly taints the numbers that I'm about to give you, but after some money was spent by the Mets in the offseason to upgrade the talent on this roster, especially at the back end of the bullpen, and for the most part that's worked. This Mets team is about dead even with where they were through 59 games last year. Last year they were 30-29. This year 31-28. Runs per game about the same. 53 home runs last year compared to 38 this year. The ballpark has a lot to do with that. And the ERA just a fraction better here in 09. That's Damon in left, and that's out number 2.
Also, in their division, they are battling a very, very confident, particularly offensively confident Philadelphia Phillies team, a team that is presently the world champions. I think you can make a case that it's going to be tougher for the Mets this year, not only because of their injuries, but they are battling a better division. Certainly the Phillies are better. The Braves are better. Johan Santana, you talk about a warrior. There's all of that.
There's a strike to Beltran. Carlos Beltran is 1 for 3. Single to start a 3-run rally last inning. Strike 2. Yankees in the bottom of this inning will have Damon, Teixeira, and Rodriguez. Aceves did not want the curveball. He wanted a changeup, and he gets a pop-up. Shook off Posada 3 times and gets Beltran with a change. A perfect 6th inning, bottom half. Big bats coming up for the Yankees, who trail by 4. Flomax replay with his home run, 2-run shot in the top of the 2nd. Blow up the point of contact on a pitch by Andy Pettitte, and Santos drove it out to left. His 4th home run of the season. He has 3 RBIs on the day. And he hauls in a pitch from Nieve high for ball 1 to Johnny Damon. Damon, Teixeira, and Rodriguez in the 6th, with the Yankees down by 4. Shattered bat, 1 out. And Damon was left with a toothpick in his hands. 1 away.
Joe, while we're talking about Johnny Damon, interestingly, last night Daniel Bard earned his first major league save in Philadelphia. Hit 2 batters, then struck out the side. Daniel Bard was received by the Boston Red Sox as compensation for Johnny Damon when the Yankees signed him as a free agent. Also, Jacoby Ellsbury, compensation for Orlando Cabrera, and Clay Buchholz, their fine young pitcher, was compensation when the Red Sox allowed Pedro Martinez to sign with another team. That information, by the way, from Steve Horn. That is a terrific note.
Bard is just another weapon. Good diving stop by Tatis as he feeds Nieve 2 out. Bard got the save, as Tim mentioned last night, and he's another guy to fortify that bullpen with the Red Sox. A big advantage that Boston has over any other team in the American League. And Tatis is taking care of the first 2. 1 on a line drive, that a diving stop for the former 3rd baseman, and with the bases empty, here's Rodriguez. Alex has homered and walked. Rodriguez was activated on May 8th. Had a 5-hit day on May 25th at Texas against his former club, the Rangers. Since then, coming into today, 16 games, he was hitting just .207 with 1 home run, 8 RBIs during one stretch, which was snapped the other night in Boston. was 0 for 14, and he is hit on the left elbow by that pitch from Nieve. And on base for the third time today. This one right off that pad, it looked like.
And it hit right off that pad, right on the elbow. You may remember, first time up, home run. Second time up, the first pitch was inside to Rodriguez from Nieve. And now he hits A-Rod. Tell you, if I'm playing, you never know how it's going to play out. But the Yankees as a team, I would imagine, upset right now because of the second time up. When Nieve came inside to Rodriguez because of the home run, perhaps. And that's one of those things you never really know. If you're a Met fan, you're probably saying you got to pitch guys inside. If you're Joe Girardi, you may be thinking that Nieve threw at him intentionally.
Nothing in 1 to count on Cano. Nothing in 2 on 2 fouls off to the left out of play. Cano 0 for 2 in this game. 4-run Mets lead, bottom of the 6th inning at Yankee Stadium. And a very well pitched game by Nieve in front of what is a rather tired bullpen for the Mets. Still throwing hard, 94. And ball 1 high.
I hearkened to what we said in the opening, that this was going to be a very difficult game for the Mets to win. They have responded beautifully after that crushing defeat last night.
Another foul by Cano. Tell you, the big picture, you don't want to go too crazy and make too much out of a start on June 13th, but this is a pretty big effort here today by Nieve.
Absolutely.
Considering how tired Jerry Manuel's bullpen is and the kind of week they've had. A strikeout ends the inning. Second strikeout for Nieve, and he has handcuffed the Yankees in their house. 5-1 after 6. Back to New York after this from your local Fox station. again on a cool, overcast, and at times rainy day in the Bronx. We thank DirecTV to give us aerial coverage. Get every MLB game in HD this season with DirecTV. Santos goes back to work and deals with David Wright, who's had another big day. 2 out of 3. Came in hitting .364. Up to .368. And in the month of June is hitting .525. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Pretty good couple of weeks.
Wow. Tired of hearing about how he's not hitting home runs. He admitted to us before the game there have been some balls that he has put a charge into and at least mentally broken into a home run trot, and looked up and thought, uh-oh, better run a little harder. He's got such a good stroke, especially into right center. He'd be deadly in this park. A fly ball into center. Gardner waiting for it. 1 out, and we send it out to Chris Rose amongst all of his friends out in the seats in right.
Yeah, a lot of friends out here, Joe. Of course, Yankee Stadium on pace to give up almost 300 home runs this year. Well, this week AccuWeather said don't blame the wind, rather blame the curvature or lack thereof in right center field. They're saying the walls are so short, but height-wise and length-wise, that they're giving up like about 20 more homers than they would have given up in the old stadium. Here at Fox Sports, we're not so sure. We're conducting our own weather survey this week, so we spent. We've got that for you the rest of the game to test the wind.
What's that guy's name?
That's John. He's helping us out, so he's doing a good job today.
And you picked a Mets fan. Now,
I did.
Let's cut the mic. Cut the mic.
Yeah, cut the mic.
1 out, nobody on. The 0-1 pitch. Fouled back. Gary Sheffield in the hole, 0-2. Sheffield 1 for 3. So they start chanting out in that area. It's not a good idea to have an open mic.
No.
But the Brewers struggling. So that score rolled by, losing 7-0 at home. Had an opportunity there over the last week to really get some distance in the NL Central, and it hasn't happened because of Colorado. Right. Of all teams, Colorado, they've won 9 straight. They swept St. Louis, went to Milwaukee, and swept the Brewers.
Jim Tracy replacing their manager Clint Hurdle. Jim Tracy, a terrific baseball guy. So of course, so was Clint Hurdle, but you never know whether that change in the middle of the season is inspiration for any team to win.
You know, you look at him in the NL West, and it looks like the Dodgers are going to run away with the NL West. That pitch is low, but in the wild card race, the Colorado Rockies are basically right there.
Yeah.
They've got 29 wins, 3.5 behind San Francisco in their own division. San Francisco would be right there in the wild card. What, they'd be a half game out or so, a game behind St. Louis. Here's a rocket into left. Off the bat of Sheffield. Bad knee and all. He's got another. His 7th of the season, his 2nd in as many games. We sent Chris Rose out to the wrong section. He should be standing or sitting in left, not in right, and it's 6-1 Mets.
Home run in last night's game, a home run this afternoon. A man who was influenced by his nephew, Doc Gooden, to sign with the Mets. He had other offers. In fact, Gooden wanted him to wear number 16. He said, nope, that's your number. He's doing all right with number 10.
Breaking ball for a strike from Santos. This is Tatis. And here are the Mets coming in with only 38 home runs hit all season long. That is the 3rd fewest in Major League Baseball. Santos got Pettitte in the 2nd, and now Gary Sheffield gets Aceves here in the 7th. It's a good pitch, not called a strike, and the count 1-1. So Sheffield getting a chance to DH. Driven home 2. He's 2 for 4. That's a line drive to left, and Johnny Damon puts it away. 2 out. So among the players active, Gary Sheffield, who hit that 500th home run, was first with the Mets earlier this season, is up to 506. Manny Ramirez is next on that list with 533. Here is Ryan Church, who is 0 for 2. Ball 1.
Once again, Manny Ramirez serving a 50-game suspension, and he should return with the Dodgers on July 3rd.
It's barring any rainouts, postponements. Breaking ball in for a strike to Church. It's 1-1. Bottom of the 7th inning, the Yankees will have Posada, Matsui, and Cabrera against Nieve. No action for the Mets in their pen. It's low. 2-1. That is a rocket into right. Pitch was up. Church jumped on it. Will dig for 2. Throw by Cabrera is too late. And a sliding 2-out double.
That was a high fastball. Aceves tries to come inside to Church. Talk about getting the head out. That's what the players say when they get the head out on that high fastball. It'll be a lot quicker on a ball up in the strike zone than down. That's double number 10 on the year for Church.
Now Santos can add to an already big day. Runner at second with 2 out and ball 1 high. Homer, a 2-run home run we've talked plenty about, then a 2-out RBI double in the 5th inning, and Jose Veras, the right-hander, cranks it up. Breaking ball hits the corner. If you did not hear our interview with Joe Girardi, he said Brian Bruni, who pitched at Trenton today and is already back at the stadium, threw very well. So that's a big weapon that the Yankees will get back in their pen soon. Might be one and done as far as a minor league rehab for Brian Bruni. It's a big loss when they did not have him. Bruni has made only 1 appearance. It's April 22nd. Here's a 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Bruni dealing with a flexor muscle in his right elbow. There's a 2-2 from Aceves. Popped up into center, and Gardner is there. Inning is over. How about Gary Sheffield? Been around for a long time, but he can still do it. Last night down the left field line against Tomko, and moments ago against Aceves. Another one to left. 6-1 Mets today. Time to strike. limited time only by the new Kentucky Grilled Chicken. Taste the unfried side of KFC. And by Hyundai Assurance, a little certainty in uncertain times. Back at Yankee Stadium, bottom of the 7th inning, all Mets today, and it's our Smirnoff Ice game summary. Omir Santos with a big afternoon, 3 RBIs, a home run. Sheffield goes deep for the 2nd game in a row, and Fernando Nieve getting the start. It's his first since 2006 in June with the Houston Astros. Has been outstanding, pitching now into the 7th inning.
Get up, ball! Get out of here! Get out of here! Attaboy! Attaboy, Santos! Attaboy!
That's third base coach Razor Shines wearing a microphone for us and cheering all the way as Santos made his way around the bases. And now here's Nieve pitching to Posada to start the bottom of the 7th inning. Jorge 0 for 2. Matsui will follow, and then Cabrera. And there is still no action for the Mets in their bullpen.
Try that baseball name on for size. Razor Shines. Fabulous name, isn't it?
Anthony Razor Shines.
Yeah.
That's foul, and that's strike 1. Posada has grounded out to first, fly to left. '95th pitch of the day coming from Nieve. To 0-1. And it's over but low. Good zip. The count 1-1. What an effort here today, Ken Rosenthal, by Fernando Nieve.
Absolutely, Joe. I spoke to a scout yesterday who has seen quite a bit of Nieve, and he wasn't confident that Nieve would handle this assignment well. He said, 1, he thought Nieve was better suited to be a reliever, and 2, he questioned his mental toughness. Wasn't sure that he'd hold up well facing one of the best offensive teams in the majors. Well, I just received a text message from the same scout, and the text said, Nieve looks totally different from a confidence and delivery standpoint.
Talked about it earlier, talked about him working quicker, and when pitchers work quick, the confidence seems to be one of those things other than when a guy works slowly. Indecision when you work slowly.
I just want to know, Ken, if you're going to call that scout again.
That's a good scout, Joe.
I know. You only have the best on your speed dial. Three balls, 2 strikes to start the 7th. And to the right side, easy for Tatis. Posada's 0 for 3. Matsui coming up. Our Gillette trivia question is this: who is the only player to hit 40-plus career home runs as a Yankee and a Met? Only player to hit 40-plus career home runs as a Yankee and a Met. Since the Mets go back to 1962, you don't have to go that far back, obviously, to come up with the answer. Here's another ground ball off the bat of Matsui, and Nieve continues to make it look easy. 2 up, 2 down in the 7th. In case help is needed. Right-hander is Sean Green. Left-hander is Pedro Everyday Feliciano.
Not only has Nieve never pitched a complete game in the major leagues, his longest outing, 7 1/3 innings. That was back on June 9th of 2006. But he's only pitched 6 complete games in the minor leagues over 10 years.
That drops low, ball 1. Well, it was a heartbreaking loss last night for the Mets. A tired bullpen. The Yankees get that lift And Nieve has shut him down so far this afternoon. That is a base hit for Cabrera. Takes a wide turn but holds. And for New York, that's only their third hit against Fernando Nieve. And here comes Brett Gardner. Nieve is only 26. He turns 27 in July. And the Mets have to hope that they fell into something here. Who knows where it goes after today on June 13th in the Bronx, but no matter what happens the rest of his day, 1 for 1 is Fernando Nieve.
Yeah, and I think he's already earned his next start with his performance here today.
Gardner has one of the 3 Yankee hits, and he takes ball 1 up and in. Brett took a high pitch and lined it into right down toward the end of the bat his last time up. Ball and a strike. After Gardner, you get to Derek Jeter. And obviously, the deeper you go, the bigger the bats. This could be about it for Nieve. Made Gardner look bad on that pitch, and the count 1-2.
Good changeup from Nieve. Gardner way out in front.
That's 105 pitches today for Nieve. He would love to finish off this 7th inning, and that would be it. You would have to imagine for this right-hander here at Yankee Stadium. Off the end of the bat. Changed up on Gardner, and the count's still 1-2. Up there battling. You saw in the pitch count the 5th inning was the longest, at least the most stressful on Nieve with regard to pitch count. In that inning he allowed a walk, a base hit, but no damage done. The Yankees have only stranded 4 runners in this game. The Mets meanwhile have left 8. The 1-2. Hard hit off the glove of Castillo into center. Cabrera will go to third. And now it'll be decision time for Jerry Manuel. First and third, 2 out. And it looks like that's it for Fernando Nieve. So the pitching change has been made, and the Mets fans who are here at Yankee Stadium should stand and applaud Fernando Nieve for his effort here today. Gave the Mets all they could have hoped for and more. Green takes over. First and third, 2 out. Jeter coming up here in the 7th. 6 2/3. He allowed only 4 hits. Gives way to Sean Green. First and third, 2 out. 6-1 Mets. Bottom of the 7th inning, and Jeter at the plate. 0 for 3. Strike one. Green has been hot out of the bullpen for the Mets. Unscored upon in his last 11 innings. Breaking ball spins way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Green, a nice pickup for the Mets, coming over with J.J. Putz, Jeremy Reed from Seattle. 3-way deal.
Retired 23 of the last 26 hitters he's faced. To the right side. Castillo, what a play. Safe, a run scores, and the inning continues. It's 6-2. Castillo did all he could.
Yeah, by the time he caught the ball, he was not in a position to have much on the throw. This last reach right there, the pivot and the throw, and Jeter beat it.
And now Johnny Damon could make this a 1-run game with 1 swing. Jeter was clearly safe. Feliciano stays in the bullpen, and Green deals with Damon, who's hit 13 home runs. Ball 1.
Interesting thing is Damon, a very good low ball hitter in the short dimensions here at Yankee Stadium. If you throw him the sinker, you'd prefer to stay away. He's going to hit it out and make him do it in left field, not right.
1-0. 2-0. On deck is Teixeira. If he bats here in this 7th inning, he'll represent the tying run. And if you followed box scores at all, you know how hot Mark Teixeira has been.
Leads the American League in home runs.
Green has to come at Damon, and a ground ball, hard hit right at Tatis. Inning is over. The Yankees get a run. They strand 2, have left 6 on the day. We've played 7. Mets lead at 6-2. today. 25th game of the year, 3-1, big ERA. Part of that mix that they've been trying to figure out in the bullpen for the Yankees. And here is Fernando Martinez. Martinez is 3 for 3. Official score here at Yankee Stadium credited Fernando Martinez with a hit in the 5th inning, even though an out was recorded on a fielder's choice when Santos was caught in a rundown between 2nd and 3rd. That's something that could be reviewed, and it may be changed, but as it stands right now, Martinez is 3 for 3.
Yeah, I thought it was a hit because there was no way to get Martinez.
The 1-1 pitch. That is strike 2. In fact, all the Fernandos have done well. First time 3 Fernandos have been in the same lineup in MLB history. Nieve was outstanding as a starter. Right now, Martinez 3 for 3, and Pettitte 1 for 3, and he's played well over at first base. A 1-2 pitch off the end of the bat into shallow left center, and Gardner is there. 1 out. Time for a DirecTV game break, and it's Albert Pujols when you talk about the Cardinals doing anything offensively off Tomoka. That was in the top of the 4th with nobody on. Then again in the top of the 6th with nobody on. And he ties Adrian Gonzalez of the San Diego Padres with 22 home runs on the season. 3-1 Cardinals lead at Cleveland. They're in the 9th inning, and you can watch your favorite MLB team no matter where you live with DirecTV. There's Castillo, and there is strike 1.
And you can watch your favorite All-Star on July 14th in St. Louis. And what's going to be interesting is to see Albert Pujols bat 4 or 5 times, because almost assuredly he will play the whole game for the home folks.
Take a look at the leading vote getters for the National League. Pujols leads the way over anybody. He's at first base. Chase Utley's right behind him voting wise at second base. Jimmy Rollins, his double play partner, at short. David Wright of the Mets. Beltran of the Mets in center. Ibanez and Braun. And Yadier Molina, the outstanding defensive catcher who is hitting well this season, is leading at the catching position. That's ball 1 up and in.
Nobody has ever hit more than 2 home runs in an All-Star game, and the way Pujols is hitting, well, he is really something in my view, and a lot of people's view, the best player in the game today.
And what's remarkable is he has 22 home runs here on June 13th, and he really has very little protection in the Cardinal lineup.
Like Gonzalez with San Diego.
Like Ralph Kiner with the Pirates.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know how they do it. You don't know why they ever get a pitch to hit. And the Indians are jumping back in the race and trying to get hot. They have no reason to put it on a tee for Albert Pujols, but they did twice, and he doesn't miss. Here's a 1-2 to Castillo. Drives him off the plate. Veras does. It's 2-2. Problems in Cleveland the other night with birds. We had a problem with birds at Wrigley Field a couple of weeks ago. Here's a 2-2 in the dirt. How about in the AL? Joe Mauer, who started the year on the DL, but he's making up for lost time behind the plate. Teixeira, the Yankees. Kinsler, Jeter, Longoria, Bay, who's been outstanding with the Red Sox, a sentimental favorite for the comeback story of Josh Hamilton. He's injured. And Ichiro out in right. Ground ball. Veras got part of it. Cano cannot get it to first in time to get Castillo. Castillo has his second hit of the day. He's 2 for 5.
Well, it's a hard play. Cano with a very strong throwing arm underhands it, but Castillo was safe at first. Only way that Robinson can make that play was flat-footed. Strong throw, but Castillo clearly safe.
So 1 on, 1 out, and Alex Cora steps to the plate. Alex is 1 for 4, singled in his first at bat. The Mets got 2 in the second on a shot. 2-run home run by Omir Santos. The Yankees got one of those runs back in the bottom of the inning on a home run by A-Rod, his 9th of the season. Mets got 3 in the 5th, 1 in the 7th. Yankees got that one back in the bottom of the 7th, driven in by Jeter on an infield hit. 6-2 here in the 8th, and Cora steps up. Castillo is 7 for 9 trying to steal bases. Leaps out to his lead, digs his way into the dirt. And a pitch out. Castillo now running. 0-1 on Cora. Beltran is next. Yankees in the bottom of the 8th inning. Teixeira, Rodriguez, and Cano, and here's Citi Field. One Burrow to another. Here's a fly ball down the left field line. Damon a long run to make the play in fair territory. 2 out. Well, LaGuardia in the foreground of that view of Citi Field, and
I think that's Citi Field. Yeah, that was right.
Here's Beltran. Carlos 1 for 4, has a base hit, but it was a big one. It started a 3-run, 5-hit rally in the 5th. Beltran on the season has hit 8 home runs. Start of the day, 4th best average in the National League, 343. In the air to left center field, and Gardner slips, cannot get to it. And going first to third is Castillo with 2 out for the league's top hitter, David Wright.
Well, the field has taken a lot of rain today, and the slip by Gardner and the base hit by Beltran. Brett fortunately got to his feet in a hurry to prevent Castillo from scoring.
Gardner looked like he was almost going to do that on the ball hit by Martinez to start the inning, kind of rounding his way behind the ball, and with that slick grass went down, and now it's first and third with 2 out, and David Wright could blow it wide open for the Mets. And the Mets would love a chance to have that happen so they can exhale here in the last couple innings. Nothing has been easy. After losing 2 of 3 during the week at home to their divisional rival, the Philadelphia Phillies, they lost last night 9-8 on that drop pop-up. Got to bounce back from all that and get a win here on a Saturday afternoon. 6 straight multi-hit games for Wright. He was locked in. Good play by Posada. 1-1. Two more hits on the day for the Mets, and 16 in this game, compared to only 5 for the Yankees.
check Castillo over on third. When Veras made that throw to first base, Castillo broke off a third just in case Teixeira, in a rare bobble, would have dropped that ball. Castillo would have tried to go home, one would think.
Teixeira has not made an error this season and has shown as much with his glove as he has with his bat.
He really has.
And his legs here last night, running on that pitch to Rodriguez and scoring from first with the winning run.
Battle for Gold Gloves at first base in the American League will be between Kevin Youkilis, a former Gold Glove winner, and Teixeira. They're both excellent.
The 2-1. 3 balls and a strike with Sheffield next.
But you could put the former Gold Glove winner Carlos Pena of Tampa Bay in there also.
Here comes a 3-1 to David Wright. There goes Beltran, and there's a ground ball to third. Rodriguez picks it up and throws across to end the inning. 2 hits, 2 left. Mets have stranded 10. Teixeira will lead it off in the bottom of the 8th. The Yankees down by 4. Delivered by Smirnoff Ice. Please drink responsibly. And by Zantac. Heartburn, attack it. Zantac. (6-2) into the bottom of the 8th, and Mark Teixeira will try to get something started for the Yankees. Yankees with only 5 hits in this game. Rodriguez is next, and then Cano. Teixeira in this game is 0 for 3, and he takes outside 2-1. This season, after that big deal, 8 years, $180 million, he leads the American League in home runs with 20. Come up with big hits, and he is one of 4 American League first basemen without an error. He has done just about everything. Got off to that slow start, but once Alex Rodriguez came back, was activated on May 8th, everything settled in for Mark Teixeira. Grew up idolizing Don Mattingly, who starred in the Bronx. That's grounded to first. Tatis has been busy over there today. 1 out.
Mark Teixeira started his career in Texas, went to Atlanta, and then to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and now in big-time theater. And that's exactly what's going to happen to you on Monday night with HBO at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Looking
Joe
forward
Buck
to that.
Live. Oh, Joe, that's going to be great.
Thank you.
You're going to just do very well.
Well, we have good
Nice
guests.
going.
That's good. Takes the pressure off. Here's Rodriguez. Talked about Rodriguez coming back and what he did to Mark Teixeira. Without A-Rod, Teixeira hit 198 in 25 games, 5 homers, 15 RBIs. Coming into today, Teixeira hitting 360, 15 home runs, 39 RBIs in 32 games with Rodriguez behind him. 1 out, nobody on, and a breaking ball is ball 1 just outside. Rodriguez is homered, walked, and been hit by a pitch. A 1-0. Inside corner from Green. 1 ball, 1 strike. The GW Bridge. And that's us. Joined by Ken Rosenthal and Chris Rose, who is roaming around the park. The 1-1 and a good breaking ball down. Rodriguez came up empty, strike 2.
One thing, when a pitcher drops down like Green, there's no way for the breaking ball to go down. Usually it goes parallel to the ground. Fine slider there by Shawn Green.
Two and two. So now Green has stepped up in that bullpen as the Mets try and find somebody to make up for the loss of Puts. They hope will come back sometime in August. And a good pitch down and in gets Rodriguez. Second out of the inning. Next week, how can you not look forward to seeing one of the best young talents in all of the big leagues? Evan Longoria. Do it with his bat, do it with his glove, do it with his arm. He will be involved in interleague play at the Mets. The Cardinals at the Royals, Brewers at the Tigers, on the air at 4 Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Check your local listings for the game in your area. That's a strike to Robinson Cano.
Evan Longoria, second in the American League in RBIs, second to Jason Bay, and third, of course, is Mark Teixeira.
The 0-1 from Green. Good moving pitch and a hopper to Tatis. That's it. A 1-2-3 inning for Shawn Green. We go to the 9th at Yankee Stadium. Mets will bat. They're having the fun today, up 6-2. innings. It's the 9th. Sheffield first up, then Tatis and Ryan Church. Mets lead it 6-2. Trying to split the first 2 games of this series, and then for the Mets, they hand the ball to Johan Santana. He takes it tomorrow against A.J. Burnett. Here's a 1-0 to Gary Sheffield, who's homered in this game. Also has an RBI single. He is 2 out of 4. Santana's an 8-game winner, and Burnett a 4-game winner so far here in 09. 2-0 pitch. Odd way to catch the ball for Posada, but he hauled in strike 1. It's 2-1.
Gary Sheffield talking about when he during his days with the Yankees as K-Rod, Francisco Rodriguez, gets up to throw. Gary saying that he was booed by Mets fans. He has not been booed by Mets fans today.
Still 2-2. Sheffield, it took a while for him to settle in with the Mets. First 22 games, hit only 158. Last 28, he is right about the 300 mark. And hits a 2-hopper to Jeter. Wide throw, but out, 1 away. Our Gillette trivia question. We've given you plenty of time to either think about it or research it. And we should have gotten this easily. 252 of Darryl Strawberry's home runs were with the Mets, 41 with the New York Yankees. And for Gillette, the only player to hit 40-plus career home runs is both a Yankee and a Met. The aforementioned, you were talking about him earlier, Darryl Strawberry.
Yep.
Here is Tatis, and there is strike 1. Darryl has a new book out detailing his life, which has taken many turns. And I know you've said before that when he first came up, you had rarely have ever seen that kind of talent.
I thought that Darryl Strawberry would be a guy who hit the longest home run in the history of the game. He hit some long ones in the home run hitting contest in the Houston All-Star game the day before the All-Star game in 1986, hitting the back wall of the Astrodome above where all the fans sat. Longest ball that I had ever seen hit there, but of course it was a home run hitting contest. And he may have hit what would have been the longest home run when he hit the rafters at the Big O in Montreal in 1987. First trip up there by the Mets. But of course, because it hit the facade way above the playing field, no one had a chance to measure it or guess the measurement. Hit it against Randy St. Clair, who was earlier in the year the pitching coach of the Washington Nationals.
There's a 2-2. Tatis is frozen on a breaking ball, 2 out. First strikeout for Veras, trying to go 2 scoreless innings. And again, our thanks to the DirecTV airship bringing us our aerial coverage. And DirecTV gives you every MLB game in HD this season. Here's Ryan Church. Church is 1 for 3, doubled his last time up when he ripped one into the right field corner. Veras deals and a strike. The Yankees in their last chance, bottom of the 9th, will have Posada, Matsui, and Cabrera. Francisco Rodriguez has been up in the bullpen, even though it would not be a save situation for K-Rod. He quote unquote blew his first save of the year last night. That will forever have an asterisk beside it. Made him so far this season 16 of 17 in save chances, but that was one that was out of his hands when the Yankees ended up winning the game.
Yeah, I mean, when something is that blatant, it's my opinion that no blown save should be given to Rodriguez because the error was made on the last play of the game that cost the game.
Church grounds one up the middle under the glove of Cano, and Ryan Church has his second hit of the day, 2 for 4. Tonight on Fox at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, it's Cops, followed by America's Most Wanted. So crime fighting tonight and every Saturday night on Fox. Here's Homer Santos. What a day for him. Good work behind the plate, a 2-run homer, an RBI double. He got the start today, and he made Jerry Manuel a happy manager. What he did swinging the bat.
Got the start and got it started for the Mets.
His 2-run shot opened the scoring in the second. That's high, ball 1. .94-mile-an-hour fastball, 1 ball 1 strike on Santos. This is a Yankee franchise that all time during interleague play is 125 and 89. That's the best record across baseball in interleague play. Since 04, however, it's the Mets. They're one of 3 teams to play the Yankees that have a better than 500 record against them. The team from the Bronx at 17 and 14, trying to make it 18 and 14 with a win here this afternoon.
I think you run if you're Church.
He does run. Santos strikes out, and we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. 2 scoreless from Veras. Bottom of the 9th, it'll be Posada, Matsui, and Cabrera for the Yankees, down by 4. Nice job today. And just as these players keep their team in the game, you too can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. And here is Rodriguez, only the 1 blown save, which came last night on the error. He has been as advertised for the Mets. 3rd pitch of the day for the Mets, and he deals a strike. 93. That leg kick hides the ball. Tough to hit.
K-Rod only 27 years old, his 8th year in the major leagues, exploded onto the big stage in 2002, winning 5 games in postseason. 5.
That's high. Sean Green, an inning and a third, no runs or hits, actually 1 hit. No walks, 1 strikeout. He allowed 1 inherited runner to score. So the final line on Fernando Nieve, who stands to be the winner, 6 2/3, 2 runs on 4 hits. Good work by Green in the middle. Now Francisco Rodriguez, 1-1 to Posada. 2-1.
Gives you an idea of how much Jerry Manuel wants to erase that excruciating loss last night by bringing in Rodriguez in an odd-save situation.
Posada breaks his bat, pops it up, shallow left, and Martinez, the rookie, in to make the catch. Last night, Joe Girardi brought Mariano Rivera into the 8th inning. It didn't initially work out when David Wright hit a double into right center field to put the Mets on top. It was a tie game. That showed the importance for the Yankees on the heels of that 3-game sweep at Fenway, and now the reverse is true here with Manuel bringing Francisco Rodriguez in to pitch with a 4-run lead. Here's Matsui. Hideki 0 for 2 with a walk. Ball 1 down and in. Turned 35 yesterday, hit a 3-run home run here last night. 1 year after turning 34 and hitting a grand slam out in Oakland. He likes hitting on his birthday, and we like looking from up above at Monument Park here at Yankee Stadium. Out in center field. Straight away. Monument Park in the old stadium, more in left center. Here is a 1-1 with 1 out, nobody on. That's a ball. 2-1. The Yankee faithful and the Mets fans are left here at Yankee Stadium with the rain still falling. 6-2 Mets, 1 out in the 9th. 2-1 pitch. Good pitch. Outside part, 94-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 2-2. Francisco Rodriguez trying to put an exclamation point on the end of this game, and what the Mets hope will be a win here at Yankee Stadium as Matsui strikes out. A late swing and a miss at a fastball, 2 away.
Throwing a lot of breaking balls leading up to this point allows Rodriguez to strike out Matsui and live up to his name of K-Rod.
Producer of today's game, Pete Macheska. Director, Bill Webb. The associate director, Wayne Wilson. The broadcast associate, Brian Biederman. Editorial consultant is Steve Horn. Our technical producer, Sid Drexler. Technical director is Jonathan Evans. Pre-game show is produced by Don Bowie. With us here today at Yankee Stadium. Here is Cabrera, and there is strike 1. A breaking ball from Rodriguez. Highlights coordinator Janice Kazaza. Studio technical supervisor Jack Simmons. Gary Steinberg is the supervisor of remote field operations. Senior producer is Bill Brown. The executive producers of Fox Sports, Ed Gorn and David Hill. Here's the 0-1. Strike 2. Mets on their way to their 32nd win of the year. Make that guy happy. Trying to send the Yankees to their 4th loss in their last 5. 0-2 pitch. Ball 1. On 1-2, Cabrera takes ball 2. Francisco Rodriguez just throws everything he's got. Body, arm, baseball, it's all coming toward the plate. Very deceptive, and he's got explosive stuff. His 2-2 pitch to Melky Cabrera.
Not only that, Joe, I can think of no other major league pitcher who takes his stretch with an open stance. You hear that often about a hitter who, for a left-handed hitter, his foot's toward first base, a right-handed hitter, his foot toward third base. They call that an open stance, but Rodriguez with an open stance from which he starts.
Down and in, trickles away, and for Cabrera, a full count. There's not much left for Francisco Rodriguez, but he's holding back on any pitch.
Delivery spins him around.
Left side, that's David Wright. Stabs it, throws it. Game over. Mets win it, a final of 6-2. And a perfect 9th inning for Francisco Rodriguez in a non-save situation. And for the Yankees,